championship.
Jeff Doades, owner and pharmacist at Linton Family Pharmacy. Our area has been recently stricken with an acute exacerbation of what can only be described as Linton minor football fever. We here at Linton Family Pharmacy have been tirelessly working on a cure for Linton minor football fever. You have a fever, the only prescription is...
All right, welcome back to West Washington. I'm Keith Doades. Dan Phillips is down on the field. I'm joined now in the press box by Darren Clayton, and the Linton Miners are on the field celebrating a regional championship, 28-0, a win here at West Washington against the homestanding Senators, and the Miners will be matched up again next week for the second year in a row in the semi-state. They'll be playing Indianapolis-Scecina. Last year, the Miners were shut out by Scecina 17-0. But Darren, it'd be good to get an opportunity to get back at them.
Yeah, absolutely, and get a chance to get them on our home field this year. So hopefully, get off to a little better start. I felt like in the second half last year we really competed with them, and maybe we can use that to our advantage and get off to a better start this year.
My name is Jeff Doades, owner and pharmacist at Linton Family.
Well, I'm picking up a little bit of the crowd noise down on the field. Coach, you can hear some of the stuff that's going on down there. Coach Weber's addressing his team. And
well, Keith,
there you go.
I hate dragging the coach from the celebration, but we'll get words with him as quickly as we can out here. Coming into this contest, I know you had some concerns. You hadn't seen a team that kind of did both the run and the pass. Right off the bat, they kind of put us on our heels. How big was that first defensive stand by the Miner defense?
That was huge. We came in not knowing what we could, what Grant Stom could do for us, which gave us the ability to play some too high stuff. He unfortunately couldn't go, so we went to some changes right there before game time and moved Zane Hayden out the corner, and Paul Goodman came in outside backer, and the defense just played outstanding. I mean, the whole bunch, even a spread team and a one high look, we was able to mix some coverages up. Just outstanding. We were smothering on them.
Well, here's a team who averaged 30 points those last 7 games that they won. Your defense pitches to 0 again. Great job by the defense, obviously, but let's talk about Coy Kaiser's 57-yard run. Tonight he had about 126 yards. Big game by the running back, big game by your offensive line.
Offensive line was unbelievable with the holes and the time that Austin had to throw the ball. Receivers, I mean, it just offensively, we bogged down here at times with some misreads and things like that. But the consistent part was the offensive line. I mean, unbelievable amount of time he had.
Well, you had to have guys step up. Obviously, you got Paul Goodman coming in outside linebacker, made a couple plays in the backfield. Offensively, we saw Bo Eaton come in and catch about 6 passes. These are guys that you didn't know would even contribute coming into their senior year. How big is it that you got this next man up attitude?
Well, it's awesome. It's outstanding, especially in a small school. When injuries and things like that, the depth is usually a problem. And this team seems to have guys that keep stepping up with the depth. So I'm tickled to death. They keep playing ball. One more week, Scecina at home. So it's going to be a battle, but we're excited to keep playing.
Well, we'll talk about Grant for a second. I mean, obviously he'll probably not do much this week. Is this leg you hope going to be healed? I mean, it's obviously a day-to-day thing.
Yeah, it's day-to-day, and it's up to Grant. He'll let us know when it's ready to go, and hopefully we get him back. He's a huge part of this offense and defense, and, I know he's going to do everything he can to get ready, and we're going to do what we can to get him ready.
Last question for you, Coach. I know all year long, I know probably from last November the 17th to all season long in the back of your mind, you've wanted another crack in Indianapolis-Scecina. Going to have that opportunity. How important it is for you to have another crack at those guys?
For me, it's I don't care who the crack's at, as long as we have another crack. So, yeah, we're playing again another week. Who it was is really doesn't matter to us. We're going to play whoever it is and do the best we can. We're familiar with them now. They're familiar with us. We're excited to keep playing.
And we're going to be at Roy Williams, so we expect to have a crazy house. Coach, congratulations. I know you were nervous a little bit before this game, but as always, great coaching job, great win, and have a good week.
Thank you.
I'll send her back up to you, Keith, as I hunt for somebody else to interview.
All right, so let's go to Darren Clayton and see if Darren's got some numbers for us.
Yeah, big night by the Miner offense, 177 yards on the ground, led by Coy Kaiser, 15 carries, 125 for Coy tonight. AK backs it up, 25 of 35, very efficient, 246 yards through the air. He hit 6 different receivers, led by Cole Bradbury, 11 catches for 108. So the Miner offense with 423 yards tonight, a very good showing, and the defense just as good, 46 yards rushing, 114 passing for the Senators.
All right, I'm standing with Hayden Flath. Hayden, another regional win. How big is this to you your senior year?
It is a great honor to even be back here. Even bigger win. Getting ready for next week, starting now.
Now, I know the senior year coming into it, you had the treasured 21 jersey on, had to make the change to center. How big of when did you know this might be a possibility?
As soon as the season ended last year, we needed linemen. I filled in. I think we've done our part so far.
And we really haven't had any problems with it. I'm not going to. There's no wood out here, but you've been able to snap the ball real well. What's it mean to you? You got injured last year against Cecina. What does it mean to you have another chance at facing the Crusaders?
It's a great feeling to come back. Hopefully we come out on top and I come back healthier after the game.
That's right. Well, congratulations, Hayden. Another great contest, and we'll send it back up to Keith as I continue to search for more Miners.
All right, Darren, you did a nice job there. But you got more? Is there more, or is that it?
No, really, that was it. I mean, I guess you can always throw out names. I mean, kids like to get their names. Bo Eaton had 5 catches for 47 yards. Zane Hayden, 5 catches for 52.
That's right.
Austin Hale, 8 rushes for 26 yards late in the game. So, good job by the Miners.
And I think that Dan has Bo Eaton with him.
Well, I'm on the football field with Bo Eaton, number 19. Bo, I figure you knew a little bit that you were going to see a little bit more action with Stom, probably not going to go.
Yeah, I practice second string all the time just to back up Bradbury or Grant. And Grant got hurt, and I knew I had some big shoes to fill, so I tried to step up my best, and you saw the outcome.
So to feel good to have the confidence, I mean, you're out here one-on-one a couple of times with these guys, make big plays. Really didn't have to change much. I mean, I make it sound like you haven't played at all this year. You've had to fill in several times, but what does it mean to you to actually be a contributor instead of just stand on the sidelines? You get to come out and make big plays. I think you had about 6 catches, several third down conversions. Also got to come in for free safety on the play. They didn't notice that.
Feels awesome. I mean, I'd really like to play for the seniors. I mean, a lot of them are my best friends. I love them to death. AK threw some great balls. He's a great quarterback. Everybody else did a great job. The lineman gave AK time to get me passes. Had to fill in for Kaiser when he lost his helmet, and just made my calls, did what I had to do.
Depth is a big issue in Southern 1A football, Bo, and it's a great pleasure you got out there and did the job for us.
Thanks, Dan.
All right, so Dan Phillips still down on the field, and Austin Carazia is down there close to him. I think Grant Stom, I don't know if Big D actually sees Grant Stom right behind him. I'd be interested to know what Grant, how he feels about his ankle and his status. So Dan does not have a headset, so we're just giving hand signals, and we're going to get back to him.
Well, I'm still on the field here. To thank Ron Smith real quick. He did a great thing up there at the booth. One of the greatest facilities in 1A I've ever been at. So good luck to West Washington down in the future. We got Coach Carazia and we got his son Austin. I got both of them in there. Still doing his athletic director job. Your job is done tonight, Austin. How happy are you tonight, Austin?
Wait, what did you say? What was that?
I said, how happy are you tonight?
Oh, it's fantastic. But I mean, this isn't our ultimate goal. We have a rematch against Cecina. That was our goal coming into the season, and we just want to take care of business.
Well, Linton has taken care of business all year. It doesn't look like the team gets rattled tonight. You're ready to come out here on the first series. You've already got plays in your mind. We give the ball up on the opening kickoff. What are you feeling on the sideline at that time?
I mean, I knew it'd be a long game. I knew we had a good plan coming this game, and we executed it. Defense won the game tonight for us. They're just fantastic.
Well, they've done a great job. This team averaged 34 points over the last 7 games and kept them out of the end zone with their backs against it. We don't have Stom tonight, so you have to go to some other receivers. How nice is it to know you can count on some of these underclassmen to come in and do the job?
It's very nice. Bo Eaton stepped up in his spot tonight. Played fantastic. Caught some balls for us, and he just played well. He stepped up tonight.
And the last thing for you, I don't know that you were pressured all night. I think towards the end, maybe the DE kind of come in on once. That jersey is about as clean as it could possibly be.
It is. Joe Lorick did a great job with the line this week. I don't know what they're doing down there, but whatever they're doing is working. And they just did well tonight, and I had time and delivered the ball.
Another great job by you, Austin, and we know you're looking forward to seeing Cecina again. Got athletic director Charlie Carazia beaming like a proud father right now. Probably too early to talk about next week, but is this a Friday, Saturday affair?
It'll be a Friday night game. We played last year up there. It was Friday, probably a 7:30 start.
Now, as a coach, in your coaching days, does it feel good to have Cecina coming to you instead of going up to that environment?
You know, you always have to be careful what you wish for, you know, but we wanted to have that semi-state at home. And it's better for them to come to our environment than to go up there because we're used to the surroundings, you know. And I just want to thank you guys for doing such a great job at LintonMiners.com. I know we have a lot of people that watch the show. A friend of mine, Stu Sapp, he does up in Princeton, just absolutely loves it. He's always texting me. But to go back to Cecina again, you know, the Cecina scouts were behind us. And so they saw our crowd and they saw our kids perform. We didn't play the best ball game in the world today. There was a lot of penalties that were there, a lot of miscues that we had. But 28-0, we'll take a shutout.
Spoken like a true coach. The penalties the last 2 weeks have been kind of over the top, and short yardage giving us a little bit of trouble. But how proud are you of your son? We talked about this list, 2 regionals. You know, again, a little underthrown tonight, maybe the wind had an effect, but gosh, he's pretty confident back there.
Yeah, he's got that maturity factor with him right now. He's a senior, been starting for 3 years for us. You know, you can tell he's just a completely different quarterback back there than he was the last couple of years. A couple passes, yeah, you know, he underthrew, you know, but when you throw the ball, what we throw it 25 times, 30 sometimes, you know, every once in a while you're going to have a bad throw like that, you know, so everything can't be perfect. One thing and I tell people this all the time, these kids are 17 and 18 years old. They're kids, you know, they're not professionals. I mean, they're going to make mistakes on here, so, but this is a great team. Coach Weber's doing a great job with him and his coaching staff, getting kids ready to play, and we're just so proud to go back in the semi-state. This is the 8th time we've been in a semi-state, so we're hoping this is the key. This is the time right now.
One of these years we got to get through it, and hopefully we'll see a lot of people come out and support. Coach, always a pleasure to talk to you, and 7:30 probable start time Friday night for sure.
I would think so, yeah.
All right, Kate, we'll send her back to you as I hunt for more minors.
All right, well, we will get that confirmed, and it'll probably take until tomorrow or Monday morning when the 2 athletic directors from the respective schools, Linton and Indianapolis Cecina, get together. But Darren, I think 7:30 is probably fair enough. That's what we did last year, I think up in Indianapolis.
I think it is what we did last year. I think they should return that.
All right, I think Big D is ready to go.
All right, I'm back on the field tonight. I got 3 minor seniors down here. First of all, he's holding the regional champions. That's hardly a big thing. You won a big trophy out of that deal. But Coy Kaiser, Chris Corbin, and, of course, Abram Neff. I got to talk to you, Coy, about that 57-yard run, that spin move. How long have you been doing that spin move?
You know, I've not really had much of a spin move in my career. It was just something you get hit and you try to fight for extra yards, and kept my balance, and it opened up for me.
You had about 130, maybe 125 yards tonight. The Miners over 400 yards total offense. Again, how big was that defensive stand? You guys come out and give the ball up on that kickoff. How big was that defensive stand? If they'd have come in the end zone, how much you think that would have changed?
It could have been a momentum changer, but I never had doubt in our defense. We'd let some big plays go, but, you know, we made stops when we had to. So
varsity defense is 27 straight quarters unscored on, and really only 2 touchdowns since the North Davies game in the middle of the season. So this is an offense that was pretty high-powered. Any concerns coming into the game about the run and the pass? Because you shut them down pretty much completely, really in all their phases.
Yeah, we really haven't faced a team with the passing caliber since Sullivan. And at that point, we were still learning and everything. So I think this was, you know, payback kind of. Had to prove ourselves. And couldn't be any more ready for next week.
Excellent contest, Coy. Thank you. I want to get Abram Neff in here. Abram, of course, I heard you were nagging, had a little groin injury this week, and it didn't look like it to me.
Yeah, I had to suck it up, do what I could. I mean, couldn't get a whole lot of offensive reps with the cuts and everything, but had to suck it up and play defense because we already had some adjustments made, and I mean we couldn't lose any more.
Well, you like to hit people anyway, so that's always a better thing. Talk about being at that outside linebacker with a quarterback who can keep the ball and run. I mean, I saw you guys strafing down the line, not really rushing him, making him make the decision. How hard was that not to just charge in there after him?
Well, I mean, the key, you got to read the lineman. I mean, they'll take you to the ball. I mean, you just got to watch him after you get your read and figure out what he's doing. You know, he could go throw the ball deep or he could pull it and run it. I mean, it's just your own judgment there after you get your read up.
How proud are you of your defense?
Today, very proud. I mean, a huge adjustment we had to make. We learned a whole defense, and then we pretty much had to throw it out the window and run some smaller stuff, so to make that adjustment.
Well, excellent job, Abram. Thanks for the effort you do next week. Christopher Corbin out there, and, of course, we've called Christopher's number several times late in games when all of a sudden he's in everybody's backfield all night long. How good does it feel to be part of the team, number one, And number two, as a senior, how good does it feel to be 2 regionals back-to-back?
Well, number one, being part of the team is just great. Being able to be a part of something like this is just fantastic. Not a whole lot of people get to do this. And number two, being able to get in and get my name called is just an unbelievable feeling.
Well, it's a senior, you don't see a lot of varsity action, but you have to contribute during practice. It seems like every solid minor team has a guy who's a senior who contributes like crazy all week long and rarely gets to come out and do anything about it out here. Your practice, what kind of stuff do you go through?
In practice, I'm basically on the scout team. We actually have a thing on the team. We're the number 1 scout team in Indiana right now.
That's true.
We stop our offense pretty well in team in practice, and it feels great stopping number 1.
And, hey, the thing about it is that your picture is going to be on that wall regardless. An undefeated team, undefeated season. I know they're waiting for you over there. I'll let you get over there. Congratulations, Chris. Send her back to you, Keith.
All right, so I'm not sure if Dan is going to linger much longer down on the field, what his plan is, but I think they got the senior group down there for a regional championship photo. And Darren, one of the things I've noticed the last couple of weeks is just how well-spoken all of these kids are.
Yeah, they're very well-spoken. They're also quick to hand credit work, all across the team. I mean, they compliment each other, and I honestly believe that that's what helps make them so successful is they don't care who gets the credit. I mean, they honestly don't. I think Coy would be just as happy tonight if he has 5 yards and somebody else has 125, and we win the football game and go on.
So Big D's got another interview down on the field.
And about the last guy I'm going to get on the field is Coach Mike Hayden, defensive coordinator. Coach, 27 quarters varsity, not giving up a point. Tonight you faced a different situation we haven't seen all year. What kind of adjustments did you have to make specifically for West Washington?
Well, some of the adjustments we made, we really didn't use too much tonight. We had some plans to, maybe get some extra DBs in the game if we needed to. But as things happened, we basically stuck with our base defense and made some personnel changes that really worked out. They had some plays that they tipped off a little bit that we took advantage of. Kids, recognized the game plan we had and reacted accordingly. So.
How big of a job would you say Paul Gibson did at outside linebacker because he had to be pushed in there? And then who's the other guy we got? We moved Zane Hayden out to defensive back, and he's used to being more up front. These are some 6'2", 190-pound receivers, and really their biggest receiver, Thompson. I don't know that he caught a pass other than a swing pass all night long.
Yeah, Paul Goodman played well. He's been in and out of that outside linebacker rotation at least half the year. And Zane's done the same thing out at DB. He's a hybrid kid. Both of them are strong kids and have good speed. So for Paul to step in there, kind of a short notice and hone his skills and get the game plan together, that's a good thing. And Zane's got speed enough just about play everywhere on the field. So, putting him out there on their good receiver, we felt really comfortable with that.
Well, they really weren't able to really do anything deep on your DBs at all. And probably the last thing I'll ask you, Coach, where did your heart go when that opening kickoff got fumbled and they're sitting at our 41, and then they get a nice run done up the middle, and they're down around our 20-some-odd yard line? What are you thinking right about then?
Well,
that you can actually say on the air.
Yeah, well, that fumble, I wasn't that concerned. It's just defense. Let's get out there and stop them. But the big run up the middle. We had seen it on film several times, and I knew exactly what was going on and how they blocked it. I was a little frustrated and disappointed that we didn't stop that play. But, I think our linebackers and our linemen recognized what they did wrong, and we informed them of what they did wrong. And I don't think it hurt us. They got a lot better at it
Thank you.
During the rest of the night.
Well, they kept trying to run that Thompson play where he would kind of go out to the one side, then cut back to the left. Had maybe one good play. After that, Rupska, who had a whale of a game at linebacker, was able to shut him off. You got Cecina coming this week. I know you probably haven't thought about it yet, but is it important to you that you have another crack at a team like Cecina?
Yeah, I think so. It's just important for the psyche of the team that everybody realizes that, yeah, they're a good team, and we can't look at them as giants or Super Bowl contenders or anything like that. They're 1A kids, and so are the kids on our team. So we've just got to go out there and look at it as another game on a Friday night.
Coach, we're the last ones out here other than West Washington kids. Congratulations. A stellar job at the minor defense, and we will see you next week. Back to you, Keith. I'll try to catch up with you.
All right. Big D going to make his way back up here. We'll let him, again, make our Graber Post Building Star of the Game selection. It takes a little bit of time just to kind of maneuver geographically from the field, even though it doesn't look like it's a long walk. You have to go where the fences are lined here. You'll have to walk a little bit of a distance to get back up here. But Phil Bausman, Darren, the West Washington coach, was up here in the interview. He had the post-game radio interview on their radio station from Salem, Indiana, and he, on his way out, reached over, tapped me, and wished the Miners good luck next week in the semi-state. Seems to be a really good guy.
Yeah, seemed to be.
Done a good job here. They've had a lot of football success.
Yes, they have, and I think teams from the South should help support the other teams from the South. I would like to think that we'd be the same way. Wish him well, the team that beat you, and hope they go on and have success in the tournament the rest of the way.
Were you gone last year for the semi-state? I want to say you were here. You were there. Okay, all right. I wasn't sure. I knew one of those games that you had to miss, but. So you remember Thomas Allgood and David Tarver, the two running backs that really were pretty outstanding as juniors, and now they're seniors this year.
Yeah, and it's.
Well, we've got Big D. He's got another interview. So.
Well, I got lucky. I ran into Coach Bozeman as I was walking out, kind of him to come up to me and talk. First of all, Coach, what do you got to say about your kids? You brought your town, your area sectional championship. They were fired up tonight. How do you feel about these 6 seniors that you're going to lose?
Yeah, they're pretty special. They've, when I got hired 6 years ago, these guys came in as 7th graders. So they're the first group to be a part of our program from an installation standpoint of changing from a power running team to a spread team. So they've ran our stuff, our looks for 6 years.
Well, I remember the days of Dylan Conrad when he was running for a couple thousand yards, but then you brought in Martin Chastain, you had some couple other guys, and we've had a couple tangles over in Linton area. And tonight the Miners just seem to have too many weapons for you. But when you get that fumble on that opening kickoff, how fast is your mind racing? This was a great opportunity for West Washington to put a score up and really take the momentum.
Absolutely. We really felt like, and on that, we were just kicking the thing. We talk about kicking hot, and that's getting it on the ground, letting it scoot around, or kicking deep, and we just kick it into the wind. So we thought, well, we'll kick this thing hot, and we got fortunate enough, took a crazy bounce, and we were able to get it. And, we thought, man, if we could mount a drive here, and, I think we maybe had a good run in that drive, but then we had a hold and just a few things that set us back. But at the same time, you give Linton credit for flexing their muscles. And, they did that a couple times. We had a few possessions where we did drive and move the ball, and they did what they're capable of doing, and they flexed up and were able to stop us. And they were just a little bit better tonight than we were, and they're just a phenomenal team.
Well, your thoughts on your sophomore quarterback? You're going to have him 2 years. Tonight I thought a couple of times, maybe, 4th down situations, you don't give your receivers a chance. He's going to be a big kid. You're confident in him in the future?
Absolutely. That kid, he works really hard. His brother's number 6, and those kids, they'd give their right arm for me if I asked them to. And it starts with their family. They're great people, and they're dedicated to our program. And we're really excited about Cody. We told him last winter that we're looking at him at starting quarterback, and the kid passed up vacations this summer. He passed up some other things to make sure he was at weights, and he definitely showed us what he's capable of. And he grew up a lot throughout this season. And there's still things when the game these kind of big games where he still learns. On 4th down, just throw it up and give ourselves a chance. And so those are things he'll continue to learn. And I know next year he's going to be a solid player. And we're pretty proud to be in a regional title game with a sophomore quarterback.
Well, we had Karazia as a sophomore, made a lot of the same mistakes. Coach, you got a great tradition going here. I hope to see you all next year. Great facility. Appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you.
Back to you, Keith.
All right, and again, that's Phil Bausman, a 6-year head coach at West Washington, and
what a class act.
Yeah, very much so. Had really enjoyed it. He broke himself away from some tailgating. I was here really early and recorded the pregame interview, and just seemed like a really good down-to-earth guy, and he certainly knows his football. And they have a lot to celebrate here at West Washington. They'll feel pretty good, in a few days. The sting is always going to be there anytime, Darren, you're bounced out of the tournament. But they won a sectional for the first time in a good long time. But they fall to the Miners in the regional here at West Washington. As now the two coaches are able to talk a little bit more informally down on the field in the waning moments here.
Just a little side note: Joe Flater used to teach here. So I think her and the coach know each other.
Ah, okay.
So this was where she started her teaching career, was
Okay.
here. So.
All right. But a 28-0 win for the Miners. They got on the board in the first quarter at the 9:06 mark after fumbling the opening kickoff. They forced West Washington to punt. West Washington took over with a great field position at the Linton 43. They got down to the 25-yard line and wound up having to punt the football. And I think Dane Rupska, if I remember, made a huge play on that particular drive. The Miner defense was just very solid right from the get-go. And actually the first time that the Miners had the football, Coy Kaiser broke off a 57-yard touchdown run. It was 7-0 Linton. The Miners added another touchdown, another score later to make it 14-0 on a 30-yard pass play from Austin Carazia to Cole Bradbury on a tremendous catch by Bradbury in the front corner of the end zone. Bradbury in the second quarter got a touchdown run of 8 yards, and it was 21-0 at the half, and only one score in the second half. That was on a Coy Kaiser 5-yard run with Dylan Deisher adding the extra point. She was 4 for 4 kicking, extra point. She was 0 for 1, missed a 25-yard field goal late in the football game. 28-0 is the final, and that leaves us really with only one more thing to do, and that is the Graber Post Building Star of the game, and we'll have that for you, plus a wrap-up after this final timeout for Graber Post Buildings. Thank you. Good job down there.
It was a little bit easier this time. I was lucky to catch Bozeman. That was good.
Oh, yeah. He was up here for a while. He's a quality guy.
Yeah, he is. Well, I really haven't.
Well, back for a wrap-up here at West Washington. The Linton Miners are football regional champions, 28-0. And Big D, who's it going to be?
Boy, that's going to be a tough call because I don't have my computer on anymore. But Coy had some big plays. Carazia had some big plays. Cole Bradbury had big plays. Rupska big plays. And I think I'm going to have to go with Coy Kaiser. That 57-yard run. Plus, he had another couple of runs on 3rd down and short and a 4th down and short goal line. Any of several guys could have gotten this award tonight. But Coy, just a workhorse. And you heard when I talked to him, he's barely audible down there. It's just like he just woke up from a nap or something. But all these guys just
soft-spoken and very, very giving.
A lot of these guys are soft-spoken down there talking to them. I was really glad to be able to talk to some of them I hadn't talked to last week. Paul Goodman stepped up in a huge way, too. I would have liked to have caught him, but that 57-yard run kind of set the tone. Cole made an amazing catch in the end zone. That could have turned the tie of the game as well. But hopefully they'll have a chance next week to make a statement and get back what they didn't get last year.
Well, congratulations to Coy Kaiser. He's our star of the game, and for being named star of the game, REMC is pleased to donate $50 now to the Linton High School Athletic Department. That from Utilities District of Western Indiana, REMC, a strong supporter of local and area high school sports. Well, before we wrap it up, Big D, I'm going to send chills through your bones by mentioning the names Thomas Allgood and David Tarver. They were really the catalyst of that football team last year for Indianapolis-Scecina, and they are seniors this year. And I'm not sure if Robert Rennick is their quarterback. He was a junior and did a little quarterbacking last year. But those three guys, I don't know much about them other than the guys that they had last year. They were very, very good. They shut the Miners out, and nobody was able to do that last year.
The speed last year that we weren't ready for it, and I think that we got popped a little bit early on by the DBs that we weren't ready for. The difference in this year is these are the same guys that are going to face them, and we know what it's like. Now, there's nothing you can substitute about speed. There's just no way. Now, Rennick did quarterback them. They lost the receiver. I want to say his name was Darling. I'm not sure, but he was the guy who made a couple of big 3rd down catches for them, and they lost that big linebacker they had. But it's Scecina. They're going to reload. They had 21 seniors one year, and the next year went back to the state. So I'd say they have to be favored just by who they've played and their physicalness. But if you're going to play them, boy, this is a great opportunity to have them come to Linton, and I hope the Linton fans get crazy because that kind of environment, they've played Roncalli. They've played.
They're not going to get spooked.
No, it's not. It's insane for anybody to think we're even saying that, them coming to us is going to make it. It isn't. It's going to give our kids a lot more oomph because we're playing on our field with our fans in our place. And I think that last year, I think we got spooked a bit by that atmosphere, the helicopters, the thousands of people. And I think it did kind of have an effect on us. We won't
really windy and cold too. That hurt the Miner offense.
But I know that they're all downplaying it down there as if, well, we didn't care who we got as long as we got there. I know that's a load of baloney, because I know that they know that was not the best representation of Linton Miner football. They hated that. We hated it as broadcasters, sitting up in a booth full of all these radio stations that were going, oh, so this is the Linton Miners. We didn't put a point on the board. That's a very good team. If 17-0 is not anything to be ashamed about losing to Cecina. I just hope we come out and play Miner football. And if we lose, then we lose. If we give 100% and our kids have tried to make the plays and they don't make mistakes and they lose the contest because physically the other team's better, I won't hang my head. Ritter beat us twice. Neither one of those games I hung my head. I thought we played them as good and hard and represented Linton Miner football as you could. Last year at Cecina, I kind of hung my head a bit because I felt like, gosh, this just was not the team we saw all year. So I know that they're ready. If they want somebody, that's who they want. So they can say that it makes no difference all they want to.
Well, whether they wanted them or not, that's who they got. We got them, and it's next Friday at Linton, and most likely kicking off at 7:30. That means we will be on the air next Friday night with our pregame show at 7 o'clock. So that does it from West Washington. Again, our final score in the Class 1A football regional. Sectional 40 winner Linton taking on Sectional 39 winner West Washington. It was Linton 28 and West Washington nothing. For Tanner Cole, doing a nice job back engineering the broadcast at the station. For Dan Phillips, I'm Keith Doades. Thanks for listening, everyone. Good night from West Washington.